All the errors. Sorry about that. Hey guys, every guru tells you to hit the primary inbox, but I want you guys to look at this real quick. Alex Hormozy just successfully hit a world record with his webinar using email, ads, hell, even direct mail. His email is not in my primary inbox. If you look at my primary inbox, I have emails from Nike, Amazon, Netflix, billion-dollar brands with massive deliverability and huge teams. And they're all in my promotions. They're all in my updates. If they can't crack the primary, neither will you. But here's what you can do. We're going to set up GHL to consistently hit updates and promotions just like the Fortune 500 companies. Today, I'm showing you the dedicated domain setup that stops your emails from bouncing to spam, gets them where the people actually are going to be, and in the tabs that they're going to check. Let's get started. I'm JJ. You ever wake up at 4 a.m. with 19 funnel ideas, 3 AI prompts, and the sudden urge to fight a werewolf with a CRM? No? Well, welcome to my world.
Funnels get fixed and the BS gets built. AI in the morning, kung fu at night. Coffee powered chaos and the timing's tight. And the boys dancing, clients on Zoom. Strategies fire and I light up the room. Ideas drop fast like a rock on the run. JJ's world, let's build something fun.
Hey guys, all right, so we're going to get started and we're going to build our entire email deliverability engine inside of GoHighLevel. If you don't have GoHighLevel yet, that's okay. Go and grab it. You can get it at gohighlevel.com/JJ Steelman. You're going to get a 30-day trial by using that link. It'd be down in the description as well. All right, let's get our screens up and going. So we're going to be doing this inside a demo domain that I like to use in my white label Panda Dash. So I white label GoHighLevel, and it's called Panda Dash. And we're going to do this all inside that demo domain, which I am using a real domain. We're going to test the deliverability with a couple of tools, Mail Tester and Mail Genius. And we're going to have Claude write us a warm-up email sequence. This is going to send to 20, 30 people at a time for the first couple of weeks and just get them to reply, all that other fun stuff. Let's get started. All right, here we are. I'm in my demo account. This is, yes, it's called a really cool demo. And yes, I actually bought that domain. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into email services here. And as you can see, I already have a really cool test.com. And we're going to add a couple more. So just because I hate typing, we're going to copy dedicated domain and IP setup. We're going to press that button and we're going to add a new domain. And I want to call this one Engage. This is where all my marketing emails are going to come from. Engage.areallycooltest.com. We're going to add and verify. So what it's doing now, it's creating our DKIM, it's going to create our SPF files, all the stuff that we need. We're just going to adjust a couple things because GHL's default setup is actually really good. It does your DMARC, it does your SPF, and they work very well. But there's a couple things that you want to do just to be on the safe side and increase that deliverability, which I'm going to show you here in a second. All right, so we're going to hit continue. And it should find it in Cloudflare because that's where I have all my domains is inside of Cloudflare. Yep. And I'm going to hit authorize domain. I've already logged into Cloudflare just to make this fast and easy. And as you can see, it's going to give me the domain key. It's going to give me a DMARC. This is one of those things we're going to change, actually. We're going to add all these here automatically because we're using Cloudflare. Now, this only works with Cloudflare, GoDaddy, and I think Domain Silo or something like that. I think. Don't quote me on that one. I know definitely GoDaddy. I know definitely Cloudflare. Everything else, you have to do this manually. But it will give you instructions if it finds that it's a manual situation. Okay, so we want to give this a second. Cloudflare is usually pretty fast when we hit this verify domain. But if you're on GoDaddy, I've seen it take up to an hour before it actually verifies. And so, things like that. Guys, just use Cloudflare. I really dislike GoDaddy, and they can shut down my YouTube and my domains for that. But I really dislike GoDaddy. I never have nothing but problems with them. Okay, let's try it. Hit verify domain. All right, and as you can see, it still didn't verify, so we're going to go back in here, and we're verified. Fantastic. So as you can see here, we got verified, 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 verified. We're green across the board. And again, we're going to use AI to change just a couple things here. Okay. So let's go ahead and click that verify button again. But before we do that, there's a couple other things I want to explain here. And I get a lot of pushback for this. But again, go back into your own personal Gmail, look at where the emails are coming from: Alex Hormozy or Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels, WordPress, Nike, Amazon, all that. And what I'm about to show you, you're going to be able to see exactly what I'm talking about and why it's okay to do this, guys. Marketing is marketing. Your clients understand this. If you're sending one-to-one emails, then you're going to have a setup similar to this. This domain is only going to be used for my conversations. It is not going to be used for bulk messages. It is not going to be used for marketing messages. It's not going to be used for, hey, you got access to your course, or here's your product receipt. This is for one-to-one conversations. And I'll show you in a second how you can split that all up. But first things first, we're going to go in here and we're going to hit our headers. This is what is showing up on that end. And this is why I create separate sending domains for different things inside my GHL setup. Because this one I want to come from JJ Steelman, and it's going to be JJ at we put engage. We're going to put this engage in here. You want to put that engage in there. I know you're probably cringing right now, but believe me, marketing emails, bulk emails, blast emails, all this stuff, all these things that we're doing is being checked by Gmail. It's being checked by Hotmail. And if you don't do this, you're going to hit the spam folder. 100% guaranteed. All right, we're going to hit save. And now everything else is there. We don't have a dedicated IP for this domain, of course, because this is a demo. But if you're sending, GoHighLevel says 150,000 emails a month. I say 75,000 emails. We're going to split that in half. Get yourself a dedicated IP from GoHighLevel. If you are in your own agency or your own agency account, I believe you have to have the 297 plan or above to get dedicated IPs. And if you're at that level, it's about 50, 60 bucks a month. Dedicated IPs will help, and you only want to use that dedicated IP on the domain that you create for really good marketing emails. Don't use it for your cold email list. Don't use it for, um, you know, any shady marketing practices. Let's just call it as it is, guys. All right. And the next step, now that we've got this part set up, we're going to add a couple more domains. So I like to do reply. So we're going to set reply up. This is where I need some music in the background for points like this. I'll work on that. I'm still working on my video game, guys. Do, 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 do. All right. And we're going to authorize this one. Same thing. It's going to give us some SPFs, all that other fun stuff. We're going to authorize, and we're going to give this a second. Now, my reply dot a really cool test.com is going to be used for any emails that come from a workflow. So this one will be, let's say they join a course or something like that. this is where I want that to come from. And we'll hit verify. We got to click the buttons a couple times here, guys. Look at that. This is why I love Cloudflare. No joke. If I was using GoDaddy, we'd be here for 10 minutes. I'd have to pause, and this would not be a live video. And verify domain. All right, we're going to set our headers on this one now. And this one is going to be a really cool access. You can put whatever you want here, guys. This is to help identify, they just bought a course or something like that. Whatever you're going to use, support. Maybe it's your name. Maybe your brand is your name. But I like to put, from Team Steelman or Team this or something like that. We're going to do support at reply, just like that. Okay, great. Now we have this set up. We're going to add one more. We're going to add, let me think of a good one for this one. Let's just do go. There we go. Go.areallycooltest.com. Excellent. Same process. And you're probably asking yourself, hey, JJ, why didn't you, go in and set all this up before this? I wanted to walk you through step by step. If you're watching this after the live, feel free to put it on 2x. You'll probably get the same. But for now, you're all here with me. I'm going to verify that domain. And we clicked that button a little too fast. So now we got to go back all the way out and hit verify now. Hit verify. And verify. This one's taking a while, probably because we've done it a couple times now. There we go. And we're verified. Great. And this one is going to come from, we're going to set our headers. We're going to call this a really cool support. Awesome. So from email is going to be, well, we already used support. So team at go.boom.reallycooltest.com. Okay, so we have the one we're going to use for conversations. We have the email we're going to use for workflows, or I'm sorry, marketing campaigns. And then we have the dedicated domain that we're going to use for workflows that give access or grant access or something like that. And then we have this one that for backup. And I personally suggest creating a couple more and then, cycling through in case you ever get a spam complaint. Warm up a few domains, guys. I mean, this is why if you've used ActiveCampaign or you've used Klaviyo, you see those EV2X13 blah blah blah, because anytime a domain gets burned, they have to refresh it, and they got thousands of millions of people coming into the system. Use that same methodology that those major email suppliers are using, and hack the system. Do the same thing the big guys are using, but do it better. Okay, we've got our domain set up, so now we want to make sure our records look really good. So we're going to find a really cool test here and this is a burner domain, so if anybody wants to try to mess with my domain, have fun. Okay, now I put all this in a domain for you guys. Into a easy checklist, resources.panda-crm.com. You can go there. The link's down in the description, and you can take a look at that as well. Now, I'm going to make this really easy. I'm going to use AI to check my records for email deliverability. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to export my full DNS record right here. And then I'm going to use Perplexity because one, I'm using the Comet browser. I love Perplexity for this kind of stuff because it's going to find the right model for me. You can use OpenAI and ChatGPT. I've done that. Claude's here and there when it comes to this part of it. Claude's going to be great for copywriting. I model stack. Everybody knows that. If you've been watching my channel, I model stack a lot. But Perplexity I've found has given me, and because I can understand what it's supposed to look like, and I know if it's right or it's wrong, Perplexity has given me the best results on this. So now I'm just going to tell it, and as you know, I use Whisper. If you've watched my videos before, Perplexity, I'm going to supply you with a DNS record from my domain at areallycooltest.com. This domain is hosted on Cloudflare, and I'm using GoHighLevel for emails. What I need from you is to act as an expert in email deliverability. I want you to analyze my DNS records and make sure that everything is set up correctly for the domains mail.areallycooltest.com, reply.areallycooltest.com, go.areallycooltest.com, and engage.areallycooltest.com. After you've analyzed the records for email deliverability from those domains, understand that I am using LC Email Lead Connector. I'll also be using Google My Business for the main domain, areallycooltest.com, and suggest any edits that I need to make to the DNS record to increase my likelihood of deliverability in either the updates or promotions tab and not in spam. And then we're going to upload that export file. There we go. And we're going to let Perplexity do its job. All right. And it gives us our analysis. So mail, SPF, check, includes both, uses Softail, which is fine. Hardtail, or the hard fail is best for security. But I will tell you, if you use hard fail in Lead Connector, I've found sometimes deliverability decreases. So go ahead and keep the soft fail in there. All right, DKIM is good. Now DMARC, as you can see here, this is the part I was telling you that we're going to change, and this is very important. So we're going to take this DMARC record, all right, and you do want to create this email, dmarc@reallycooltest.com, in your wherever you're creating emails. Now, if you're using Google on My Business, you're like, JJ, I don't want to, spend an extra $18 a month just to have a DMARC email. That's okay. You can create it as an alias and send it to a group email that will work here. So we're going to copy that. We're going to find our DMARC for mail.areallycooltest.com. And as you can see, all my DMARCs are right here. We're going to change this, which I already had. I forgot I already did this one, guys, so I apologize. We're going to hit save. All right, and let's see what else it said. MX records are good. Now for reply, our SPF is good. Like I said, GoHighLevel does really good at this. DKIM, of course, is good. This is set to P none, which we want to change to that quarantine. And it should give me after the rest of this, all that other stuff. And SPF is good. Everything else is good. And fantastic. So my SPF is good here because if you notice, like I told it, I'm going to be using Google My Business for the main domain. And the fact that I told it to include Mailgun, to include all this other stuff, just it helps increase my deliverability. And DMARC's good. Everything else is good in there. All right, so now we're going to strengthen our DMARC. This is where I said, give me, help me fix the suggestions. And this one right here is for engage. So we're going to copy this. And we're going to change this for engage and go. And it should all be pretty much the same DMARC. Yeah. So we're going to do that. So let's change this to quarantine. All right. All right. And reply. We're going to do the same thing here. We're just taking that code. We're copying it. All right. So we got all our DMARCs say quarantine. We're good there. We know all our SPFs are good, which is fantastic. And now we're going to test our deliverability. So we're going to use Claude for this. And let's go ahead and switch over to Claude here. And I'm going to ask it, hey, Claude, I need you to act as an expert email copywriter. Today, I want you to focus on deliverability, though. I'm going to test several domains for where I might land in inbox and hopefully not land in spam. Write me an email that is engaging, that will get them to reply and not too spammy. Avoid emojis. Please don't put any dashes in the email. You know I don't like dashes. And output it so I can use in GHL. Please use the GHL custom value for first name. So Claude actually knows this, by the way. Learn that. The goal is to write 3 emails in this manner so I can test using Mail Tester and Mail Genius. Let's give it a little extra there. Excuse me. All right. So we got it. We got an email here. What we're going to do first is go back into comment, and we're going to create a contact record. So let's go back. We missed a step, guys. Let's go back into our email services and click on our dedicated domain configuration. Okay, so workflow domain. Remember, I said I want that to be the reply.areallycooltest.com. One-on-one conversations is going to be mail.areallycooltest.com. Campaign domain. This is when you go into your marketing email campaigns. This is where it comes from. And we're going to use engage for that campaign domain. Bulk email domain. Bulk email domain is when you go to contacts, you select all your contacts and you write a quick email or you use a template because you need to get an email. That's where I use this Go. Payments, I'm also going to use Go. Default is mail. And notification domain, I want this to be reply as well. This is when it comes from the portal. They get access to a new course. Our new course is coming out. And we want to warm up every single one of these domains, guys. All right, so all that saved. Now, again, you can change the frequency settings on these. You can add several different domains to these. If you have a large list, I recommend creating 5 to 6 sending domains, warming up those domains, and then cycling through them. And this is going to help, your deliverability down the road. Okay. And contacts. We want contacts. Don't worry, everything you see in here is fake unless it's mine. Look, John Doe. All right, we're going to add a contact because our first one is going to be mail tester. And we are going to call this mail tester. Let's call him Mr. Mail Tester. And we're going to put that email address that they gave us in there, and we're going to save. Great. So we've got Mr. Mail Tester here. And we'll verify the email. Let's go ahead and spend my 0.002 cents, but it's always good to verify. Okay, so first email we're going to do is we're going to send from, maybe, if it wants to. Again, anytime we try to demo something, demos don't work. Oh, that's not working today. That's okay. Well, you don't need to send it from there anyway. So we're going to do a marketing campaign. Emails, create campaign. Now, very important. There's some great templates in here. If you want to guarantee to get into the promotions tab, use graphical templates. But while we're warming up our domain, I want you to use blank and I want you to use plain text editor. Yes, we're testing this right now with Mail Tester just to see what our deliverability looks like. And I always like to take 1 second here. The subject line, and that's what I'll name the email. I had a thought, it's gone. Squirrel, ADHD moment. Anyway, great. So our email that we want to make sure that we're sending and we're warming up, and we want to send this to Mail Tester, that same email we're going to use for our warm-up campaigns. And we're not putting any bolds. We're not putting anything that's going to look markety here, okay? We just want to, right now, get a pure test of our deliverability. So we're going to save. We're going to send in schedule. And of course, remember, we set our headers. So our headers are actually going to show, but we want to put support at engage, or engage. Goosh. We're going to do support at really, because our headers are going to send from engage, guys. A really cool test.com. And see, my email is verified. Fantastic. And I'll show you where to set your reply to address as well, because that's very important. And sender name, remember this is want to come from me, because this is our marketing campaign builder. This is the first thing we're testing. Subject line, we want to go back, get our subject line. And boom. Now, preview text, I won't worry too much about it. It's good to have when you start sending big domains or send a big list. We're going to choose our Mail Tester contact. As you can see, I've done this a couple times. Mr. Mail Tester, I'm so glad that I renamed it something different. So that wasn't some weird thing there. And don't turn any of this on, because this is going to put stuff in the raw HTML that you'll say, oh, this is a marketing email. Right now, we just want to warm up this domain. And for this instance, we're testing this. And send. Great. So we'll give that a second while we set up our automation. Remember, we want to test different things. And actually, we don't want to set up our automation right now because we're going to get a new Mail Tester domain here. All right, and check the score. Boom. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Green checks across the board. Look at us go. That's what I want to see. Now, Mail Genius is another good tool for this. So we're going to start a new test. We're going to do the same thing. Maybe. Mail Genius is usually a little slower, but that's okay. It's still a good tool. I like Mail Genius. Mail Genius gives you some great advice. The difference between Mail Tester and Mail Genius. So Mail Genius is going to give you some advice if you get a low score. All right, so we're going to go back to our marketing, our emails, and campaigns. And we're going to do new blank. Yes, I know I can clone it, guys. We're not doing that. We're doing this step by step. And this is exactly why we're doing it step by step, because I missed a step. And we're going to call this the Mail Genius and put that email we just got in there. Oops. I thought I copied it. Copy, 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 copy. Press the button several times. Okay. Boom. Save. Verify. Take my 0.002 cents. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to go back to marketing. This is why I do this live, guys. You guys get to see all the fun errors I make. Oh, only problem is sitting on a computer. All right, plain text editor. And let's go get our subject. And let's go get our email. And JJ. All that fun stuff. Save. Send and schedule. And again, it's coming from support at a really cool test.com. Awesome. Sender name is JJ Steelman. Subject line, let's go back and get our subject line. And let's choose the Mail Genius. Perfect. We're going to save and send. And let's go ahead and see our score. That should send pretty quickly. I run out of credits. It said I had 7 credits. Jeez, this is Mail Genius, guys. Let's give it some. You guys saw that, right? It said I had 7 credits. Okay. I'm not going to do this with Mail Genius right now. Thought I had 7 credits. I did not. And I don't use it enough, unfortunately, to give Eric his money. He's an amazing company. I would love to give him money if I use this enough. You guys understand. Let's go ahead and close that out. So we know our domains work, and that's what we wanted to know. All right. Now, next step. So we've done that through the Mail Tester and the Mail Genius. And after this, I'm not going to put you guys through this. You're going to you're going to want to create an automation and go through, because you're going to have to you're going to have to go change the email on Mail Tester and the email on Mail Genius. Like I said, use both. If you don't use both, you know, that's okay too. But I like to use both because I like to have a second opinion. I do the same thing to my doctor, and she's amazing. And we're not going to put anything in the trigger here. We're just going to go in here. We're going to do send email. And we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did, guys. We're going to put our name, our from email, which is support at a really cool test.com. We're going to put our subject line. And you can create templates inside the marketing templates, if that's easier for you. As you can see, you can put templates in there. You can write with AI. This is one of the things I love about GHL. AI is so embedded in this system. I can create my workflows from AI. I can, and which I'm going to show you actually here in a second. I can write my email copy with AI, the whole 9 yards. There's times that I don't even open ChatGPT or Claude. I just use directly in here because it's going to use my voice for whatever company I have. I have several sub accounts because I have several companies, and you go in and I'm going to do a whole video on this another time. But you create your brand voice, and it will use your brand voice to talk to the AI. All right, let's put our email in. Boom. And anytime you paste in here from into this editor anyway, yeah, kind of just break it up. It's only this editor too. I'm not sure why. Call it JJ. There we go. And we're going to save action. And then you would just publish it. We're going to test the workflow by putting a contact in it. Do I have me in here as a contact? I don't know. Hey, look, I do. Just so we don't have to go through the whole mail tester thing again. Run test. We'll see where it lands inside my Gmail real quick. Sometimes it takes a second when you're using this. And now I've never sent from this domain before. Oh, you guys cannot see it. I'm so sorry. Let me go in because I have my email in another window. Sorry, guys. All right, let's open up Gmail in here. And as you can see here, I have it right here. And it went to my updates email. That's okay. It's in my updates tab. That's okay. It's not in spam. I've never emailed from this domain ever. This is a brand new sending domain. You guys saw me create it. I've never sent myself an email from a really cool test. This is the first time I've ever done that with the base domain. And it still made it to my updates folder. And you can see here, and this is where people, oh, that looks so ugly. Guys, you're a marketer. People know you're marketing to them. People are not that stupid. Quit listening to gurus that are just trying to hustle. If you're building a real business, you're okay with this. As you can see, it came from support. As you can see, it changed the name too, because that's what our headers do, guys. And that's why we want to be very mindful with our headers. It did everything else it was supposed to do. I got my unsubscribed in there if they need it. And this is required by law, guys, to have some kind of unsubscribe in there. So, that's going to tell it right there. If there's an unsubscribe link or even any kind of link in there, it's going to tell it it's not a person-to-person email. And let me show you on the original here. See how everything passed? These are the things that Google's looking at. And the only thing that you have a bunch of HTML from is, and I don't know why. I'm going to ask Karth, who does all the email stuff for GHL, about this. But all the emails have these really long hex code, but that's okay. And that's for, I mean, I know it's for the link, but I don't know why it's got to be such a long hex code. If somebody smarter than me knows, put it down in the comments for me. All right, but as you can see, it's in there. And you look at this, oats overnight. Yes, I get my oats overnight, and they have these sending domains set up for these all throughout, but it's in my updates folder because this is marketing. Spotify, same thing with Spotify. That comes from no reply. It still made it inside here, but they have that sending domain. All that other fun stuff that we got inside our email, guys. So If you want to increase your chance, especially with a cold email, once you've warmed up your email, you can change your headers to come from the base domain. That's okay. But if you're starting out with a brand new sending domain, don't start with that sending domain or with that base domain. Keep that for one-on-one conversations until you've done enough conversations with it. Then it's always going to make sure it goes in either that or promotions if you're doing a marketing campaign. Okay, so now you want to warm up, and warming up your domain is not like a 1 week or 2 day process. This is a month-long process if you do it correctly. So you're going to create a warm up sequence from your workflows, and you can probably do it. Let's see if AI will do that for us. Hey, GHL AI, I need to create a workflow that is warming up my email domain. So I'm going to send several emails, probably 15 emails, all sending to a 50 people at a time. And I want to send those every hour. I have not used this enough. It's really cool. It just came out. So if my prompting's wrong, it probably sucks, but I'll play with it more later. Let's see if it does it for us. All right. So look, it did. It didn't give it all of it, but it gave us a good start. So we'll create our email and even give us some copy for that email. And this is actually great because you want to send these warm up emails to contacts that love you and trust you. And what I mean by that is they've interacted with you, they've opened your emails, and they're most likely to respond because it's the responses that are going to matter. If they respond and then you respond back to them from that response, you can create an automation for that as well. Then it's going to tell Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, hey, this is truly legit. And you're going to be in the safe zone. Okay, guys. So just an example of a workflow. There's actually some templates in here. We're going to get rid of this that you can use as well. So if I go to create workflow and select from template, I want to say there is a warm up in here. Thought there was a warm up in here. Recipe email drip sequence. This is a good warm up right here. Okay, and there's also a reactivation one in here that you can use and kind of use as a base template. So now you've created your workflow automation. We're going to also go into our marketing tab. We're going to go to our emails and we're going to create some drip campaigns in here. So you go to create, remember what I said, when you're warming up your email, don't use any fancy graphics, don't use any newsletter templates, create value-based emails. And I'll show you how you can do a whole series of that here in a minute with Claude. And if I hit save and I hit send and schedule, we're going to batch schedule. Okay, so I want to send 50 every 1 hour until it gets through my entire list, and then just go through and set the times and everything else. Don't spam people. Make sure, again, this is a very, very, make sure it's a hot list. Hell, I've seen people, and this has worked, and this isn't shady, it's just good business. Go and create 50 emails that they can just have their team, reply back and forth to. I don't think that part's shady. If you think it's shady, I'm sorry. But that is one way you can do. Instantly.ai and Warmly are two tools that you can use for those domains as well, where they pretty much just do on autopilot what I just said, go create 50 emails, send it back and forth, right? So instantly.ai I trust, and Warmly, can't remember what they're actually, warmly.ai I trust. Both of these I trust incredibly to warm up your email list. And I've always had good results with them. But again, you need a good 30 days with a brand new domain, guys. If you're coming into this and trying to, Here's my best advice. And actually, let me go through this real quick and then we'll talk about my best advice. Again, don't turn on any tracks, links, or anything. Create a smart list of those 50 people. And it's really easy to do, actually. So I'm going to show you that as well. So you got a list that hopefully if you're new with GoHighLevel, you're not going to have this information. But if you've tagged properly in whatever email system you're coming from, you can import those tags and still look at it for this way. But if you've been using GoHighLevel and you're creating a new domain to do this sequence with, so that way you have those 4 or 5 domains like I've told you about. You can go in here and of course make sure the email is it's valid. Can never remember what it's called. Bear with me. Last email opened. So you can use that to create a filter. Anybody who's opened an email, in the past week, most likely is a warm list. Valid email, of course, you want to make sure is valid. So that's one I will always check. And then, you might have a tag for, if you're using a lead scoring, you can probably tag them, or, engaged, different tags you can use there. And there was one other one that I like to use. I just got to remember. Opened. There is an opened last email opened. Okay. It's in here, guys. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. And then you go and send and warm up, create that smart list, go into your workflow, go into your email campaign manager, send all this. And to send that to the smart list, actually, let me show you that real quick. I'll just sit here and create a add to automation. So I'll select all, add to an automation, add to that email campaign workflow. Okay. And then one last step to help warm up those emails is send a bulk email. So again, same thing. I'm going to select all. I'm going to use this. I'm going to send that same email. I'm going to do this maybe once a week, to a good warm list. Again, don't spam your clients. Make sure it's all value-based emails like I'm about to show you using Claude. All right, Claude, we got green lights across the board. Now I want you to act as an expert email copywriter, again, who specializes in getting people to engage and have a conversation. I want you to write me a series of 30 emails. I want you to also put it in an artifact so we can copy and paste easily. But the big thing is I want you to recommend times to send these emails as well. I want you to not use any dashes or emojis. Make sure you use the GHL custom value for first name. And again, I'm going to reiterate, make sure it's conversational language. We want to include engaging questions, no call to actions. We are warming up a brand new email domain. Any of you prompt engineers out there, can make a better prompt probably. I've usually found when I talk to AI, naturally, it does its thing. There we go. So it gives us the reason that I have it giving me recommended times is because there's actual science behind when people check their emails. And we want to get as many replies as possible. So, and I asked it for an artifact. So it puts it in this window. I can just hit copy, go open a Google Doc, and then just start copy and pasting. Now, if you've know anything about MCPs and stuff, I'm sure you can probably go in and create a whole automation just to load these emails, but we're not doing that today. That'd be another video. But there we go. We got our emails. And that's it. That is pretty much it, guys. I don't think I missed anything. If I did, I apologize. But I just wanted to make sure. Oh, wrong camera. Whoa. You guys got a close up there, didn't you? All right. I know. This is why I do it live, so you can see all the fun stuff. But I hope that helps you, and I hope it demystifies the prime inbox guru crap that is out there. Because if you are marketing your company, don't be shady. I want you to not get in trouble because the ways to get into a prime inbox are actually in a gray area that can get you in a lot of trouble. You can do it, and you can do it using Zapier, Make.com, N8N. There is our you can use a your own server that you've created on HostGator or something like that. And those methods do work. You can use those methods to get into that prime inbox, but it's not going to do anything for you. It really isn't. If people want to buy from you, if they want to hear from you, they are going to move you from updates, promotions into there. And always put on your welcome email, on your funnels, hey, here's a little video on how to make sure you whitelist us. Put us in your prime inbox because we're only going to send you value. But if you're not sending value, if you're constantly spamming your clients, they're going to mark you as spam anyway. And I don't care how many dirty tricks you use, you're going to end up in the spam folder. I have probably millions of emails in my spam folder. And a lot of times it just took somebody sending me the wrong type of email. I actually had a friend who, has a very large business, and I stopped getting his emails because I put his emails in spam because he was going through a time that he wanted to be extra masculine is the best way I can say it. And I was not appreciating his emails. And so I blocked him. And if I ever decide I want to go back and get his emails again, I'll resubscribe. But yeah, I sent him to spam. And people do that. This is human nature. So don't try to cheat the system. Be ethical, be mindful, and if you truly are there to help people, whether it's a product that makes somebody's life easier, whether it's coaching that's going to improve somebody's life or business, whatever it is you're doing in your business, if you're doing it from your heart and you're doing it not just to make money, you're doing it to actually help people, they're going to open your emails. Guys, I'm JJ Steelman. Make sure check the links down at the bottom there. Um, if you don't have GoHighLevel yet, I highly recommend it. It's the only system I use, and you can get that at gohighlevel.com/JJ Steelman. You're going to get 30 days free instead of 14. And if you use that link, I'll hook you up with some fun stuff. We got a free community, other things that we like to do. Don't forget to do that. Resources.panda-crm.com. That is where you get this checklist that will walk you through everything we just did on this video. There's no opt-in required for that. My other videos got plenty of opt-ins. And as I always say, don't be a dick. Go out and chase greatness.